Hey everybody, welcome back to the Doggone Positive Way. My name's Maria. I am your certified dog trainer, your dog's advocate, and your cat's advocate too. And I am here to share a few tidbits on noise protection for your dogs. We've got thunderstorms like crazy. We're in Florida, it's everywhere. And also, guess what? 4th of July. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. I do have to say, on a personal note, I am going through a lot. My brother passed away last week, and it's been very difficult. And I shared a post over on my socials, and you can see it on Facebook and all the things. But that's also why this is kind of short and why I sound very congested because I've been crying. So anyway, let's get into this whole situation with noise. And look, there is an actual hearing protection for our dogs. This is Rec Specs. Now, a friend of mine uses their whatchamacallit, their goggles for her dogs, and they're just adorable. But look, here's Ear Pro for dogs. Let's just click on that. I know it's $75, but I just want to give you an idea. Now I don't know, I'm sure groomers out there have heard of this, but I don't know how many pet parents have heard of not the Rex specs, I'm sorry, not the this type of hearing protection, but the hearing protection. Look at this dog, you guys. I hope I'm sharing this. Let's see. I am. But look at the little goggles and just amazing. So, what I was saying though is, have you guys heard of the Happy Hoodie? The Happy Hoodie, I don't think they have it on here. Groomers use, and it is a wraparound. We have one. But groomers use it when they are blow drying your dogs because it protects their ears from all that wind blowing in and that type of thing. So here's Ear Pro. Let's go in here. Let's see if they have anything else. No, they just have this one. They're showing just this one. So here's the thing. If you go buy one of these today and try and put it on your dog on Saturday, it might not work out as well as you think. And the Happy Hoodie is a similar product that it goes around the your dog's head, just like this, around the ears. And it's just really cool. It's also useful when you have dogs that also have erect ears and you're bathing them. I'd like to put it on the dogs at that point because then the water's not spraying into their ears. But this is an option for you guys, okay? Now, we all know that dogs can hear way better than us. And I just looked this up real quick. We're going to share this instead. Here we go. Do you see what it says? That dogs' hearing is just so much more it says the dogs hear much wider frequency of spectrum of hearing. And it's true because you're sitting on your couch and your dog all of a sudden starts barking and you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Da da da. Why are you? And they're like, listen, I heard something like 2 miles away. So they hear double of what we hear. And I mean, let me just tell you, it goes into also like the range that they can hear, and also the distance. And it explains here the shape of their ears. I never even really thought about that, but like dogs who have more erect ears, maybe they're picking up a lot more sound than what we are. But you've seen your dog being all like, I'm getting messages, you guys. You've seen dogs like their ears are like radar, or it's like you're talking to your dog, they're this way, and one of the ears goes, oh yes, I can hear that, I can hear you talking, but I don't care. They have a lot of control over their body. But anyway, So, taking all that into consideration, you definitely really need to respect the fact that your dog can hear way more than you can. And, because we like this, I don't like fireworks. Um, they're like, to me, they're like a total like pollution in the water. They disturb all the animals, and I think we are well, we are more evolved. Whether we act more evolved or not, it's a whole different situation. But what I mean by that is, let's get drones in the air and do a light show like that, and they can be super cool. And I just, yeah, the noise factor is really a huge issue. Now let's talk about one medication that I like. I'm not a vet. You guys know this, so don't be all like, oh, you shouldn't be sharing about drugs. I'm sharing about this drug in particular because, hi, I'm a consumer. I used this drug, Celio, and I used it on, we used it with Troy because Troy wasn't afraid of fireworks. Troy was like, I'm gonna chase the fireworks. We can have another conversation about that. That was because of the laser light that was used on him. Not when I was here. That's for damn sure. But we used this on him because he would just get so intense and so crazy, and it would stress Bella out also. And so this medication came out years ago. It's probably been at least 10 years now. And I like it because it is specific to noise phobia, where some of the other drugs maybe will enhance noise. And also, it will make them drugged out, but maybe not deal with the anxiety that comes along with noise. So, this is also an option. You'll need to get on the phone with your vet if you have a one of your pets has a lot of anxiety and stress around sound. Now there's a lot of different medications you can use. So that I want you guys to talk to your vet. Now, Elavet is a company that makes CBD, and I have used this brand. Let's see, make sure I'm sharing that. This is Elavet's website. I like them. They're veterinary backed. This is their team. And we're not going to go into that. Doesn't this dog kind of look a little bit like Tony, you guys? But you have a quiz here you can take, and there's going to be an intake of your pet. And we used it for Troy also. We got it for Bella to help her with pain when she had cancer. So it really helped. But we also used it on Troy, and it totally chilled him out. So they you can get it for dogs, cats, and horses. So that's really cool. I know there are a lot of different companies out there. I'm just telling you the companies of these types of supplements and medications that I've used that have worked. So, um, also, what else was I going to show you guys? I think that was it for ear protection and everything. So let's just talk a little bit about um, what you can do if you cannot get to any of this stuff at all for whatever reason, right? It's fine. It's life. Life is crazy sometimes, right? So, let's just talk about things you can do. One, I do hope you have your pet microchip. Now, a microchip is only as good as the person who finds them brings them to the vet or shelter to get scanned. But people are much more aware now. I hope, because we're in an information like overload with just facts and not facts, but you know what I mean, like, hey, get a microchip for your pet, because if they get lost they can get scanned, and it's going to help reunite, and it does, it really does. So I just heard of a dog that was got lost, ran away. I can't remember. Got scared, ran away. Here you go with fear, right? Wound up in in the city up in New York and got back to them. Now, the first person who found the dog didn't get didn't scan the dog, didn't get the dog scanned. I don't know, maybe they just didn't even think about it. Well, the dog escaped from them and and it was like found up by somebody else. They took it to a shelter, I believe, or a vet and had the dog scanned, and these people got their dog back from over 1,000 miles away. So that's really a cool story. That's why, and this dog was also an older dog. I think the small dog was about 12. Um, it's just crazy. But do your research. I understand the hesitancy, but it's not. It is a means and a way to get your pet back to you, right? So now, if your dog is able to be crated, I would recommend getting them used to maybe your crates in a closet if you have a large closet. If you have a bathroom, say, I don't know if you have two bathrooms, but maybe even if you have one bathroom, it's more isolated, it's more in the center of the house. So you can, maybe the bathroom. If you have one bathroom, it's probably not a good idea if you have company coming over. But if it's just, yourself and that's the most insulated for sound room for your pet, go for it. Uh, put their crate in there. With Rufus, I used to be able to put his crate in the closet, not for phobia, but it just fit in there and it was out of the way and it was great and he didn't care. He loved his crate. So, exercise is very important for your pets overall, but make sure you do spend that time and exercise your pet, especially on 4th of July, because that will help just relax them a little bit. Now, all the things I'm telling you to do, they need to all come together. If you have a noise phobic animal, it all needs to come together. I'm giving you this tip here and this tip there, but make sure you bring it together and use all the tools. Now, the other thing you can do is um, maybe feed them solely out of their Kong toys. If not, get a puzzle toy. What are you doing with your pets on a regular basis? Are you using enrichment toys? If you're using those enrichment toys, your dog is already trained to get food out of those enrichment toys, and they'll be much more likely to do that, to go to that. Now, if they're super stressed, they're not doing anything, they're not eating, they just might want to hunker down, that type of thing. Okay. I think it's important if you have or you're having a party, just keep them safe, keep them on leash. So many dogs, going back to the microchip, so many dogs get freaked out and they bolt out the door, or somebody opens the door, the dog gets out, it's a whole thing, right? So use precaution, maybe put a sign on the door if it's a bedroom door that your pets are in. Great, just put a sign on there and lock the door. You can't go in, safety zone. You've got to really just be that advocate for your pet. The more I'm around Tony, and it's just I just, and dogs in general, I feel like they're just all a bunch of toddlers and they need our protection and our guidance and us to advocate for them. So you need to be your pet's own advocate. And I just think as people, we don't necessarily think about how things are going to affect our animals. But and fireworks, they affect wildlife too, which we really can't do anything about. But if you're on a farm and you have horses and cattle, they protect themselves. They go into their own little mode and they know what to do. And animals know what to do. They hide when danger is around. So thinking about what they do naturally, we need to prepare to keep them safe. So you want to make sure they're in a safe location in your house. If your dog is a dog who's like, I cannot be crated, I'm going to freak out, it's going to be worse for me to be crated, you need to just hang out with your dog. keep them with you. Keep them on, have a harness, and have the leash on the harness. I say a harness because I think that a harness, you have just more ability to keep them with you. They're not going to slip their harnesses if they're sized properly. Okay. I'm not talking about a no pull harness either. Some dogs can get out of some of those no pull harnesses. So I'm talking about just a regular good old harness. And I'm pretty sure, actually, let me go back to this other whatchamacallit, Rex Specs. They have harnesses. They have a lot of cool stuff. But they have your basic harnesses, but then there's another, I guess this isn't them, but I'm looking for like the harnesses that go around your dog's body, and they're looking like, just whatchamacallit, like tactical supply type of situation. So it's around them. Also, thundershirts, okay? Thundershirts are really great. They wrap around your dog. If I can find it, I will put the picture up here of, oh, I hate cookies. Am I sharing this? Let's share this. Okay, here we go. So they wrap around the dog, and they're snug. So they go around here. I wish they showed how it goes on. But the pressure from the ThunderShirt calms them, like weighted vests calm humans. Think of this as almost like a weighted vest, like I hate to say like a hug, because we don't want you like squeezing your dogs, but it's just a way to calm your dog down. Not all the time, but most of the time. So look into the ThunderShirt situation. I think it's really helpful. All of these things that I'm telling you are really good tools to use. And that would be a good option for you to, if you need, especially if you need to have your pet with you, have a ThunderShirt for them. And don't go outside with them. I'm sorry, maybe you're gonna miss the fireworks, but you're you're okay. You can miss it. It'll be all right. Maybe you can take turns with somebody to hang out with the dog inside. The last thing you guys want to do is get your dogs outside with you, and I don't care what you have on them. Like, if they're scared, they're gonna bolt. They're gonna try and bolt. Redirect. There's so many things that can happen. So use common sense, people. Protect your pets, and set them up and yourselves up to be successful. Okay. So let's go down the list. We have medication, whether it is natural or veterinarian prescribed. You've got that as a tool. Ear protection you have as a tool. I talked to somebody who's like, I'm going to put cotton balls in the dog's ears. Okay. Our dogs wouldn't keep that in their ears. I know that for sure. Okay. So you've got your ear protection, ThunderShirt. Okay. And just being aware of the level of hearing that your pet has is something that you should just, do a little research. Be gentle with your pets. Okay. Know that they hear way more than we do as far as level and that type of thing. And they feel that shit too, like a thunderstorm situation. They feel that before the storm gets here. And if you're home and you can observe your pet, you'll see that happens. We're lucky. These guys are like, they sleep through thunderstorms, whatever. Tony might bark a little bit in the background. He's whining in the background now because he's in his crate. But they may, just be a little like whiny a little bit. But it's important that you're going to provide everything you can for them. Crate training is amazing, and if your dog's crate trained and that's their safe place, use that as your tool. having their crate in a room that is, noise isolated. If you have wire crates, like we moved to wire crates right now because that's Tony does better in a wire crate. So we wound up getting another crate that's wire. Cover that crate. If they're a puppy, they're going to pull the covering in. So what you can do is you could put like little sheets of plywood around it and then a blanket over it so that they can't pull it in. That's what the sheets of plywood are, or wood, whatever, and then put a blanket over that. So you need what? 1, 2, top, back, 4 pieces of plywood. And that would be a quick fix for you guys to do. So protect your pets, just do what you can. And it's early enough in the week. Your vet should be open. The holiday isn't happening until this Saturday this year. So I just, do what you can for them, okay? And if you have any questions, hit me up, maria@doggonepositive.com, or on socials at doggonepositive. On Facebook, it's just Maria Ryan. And just look me up. Just throw me a message. And I promise, I can't promise that. I hope to be in just a little bit more together next week for you guys. This has been a hard time for me. And I appreciate all the well wishes and everything. Everybody's been reaching out to me, and I just really appreciate that and your support and your love. So support your dogs and your cats and your other animals and love them. And that means getting what they need for them. You might have to just go on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, right? Like you can find stuff on there. If because this stuff's expensive. $50 for a ThunderShirt. That's a lot of money. So, you know what? I used an ace bandage on Scrat just to see if it would work, and it worked. So I wound up getting one, but he was tiny, so it wasn't that much money. But anyway, I love you guys. Stuff a Kong. Have a doggone positive day. Be good to each other. Be good to your animals. They love us. We need to just love them right back and provide what they need. So anyway, take care, everybody. Have a doggone positive day. Bye.